What's up, y'all? Xavier Solar here alongside Justin Stuckey. Big Buck Stuck. I don't even like saying your last name like that. That's
Big
weird,
Buck
huh?
Stuck Man. Yeah,
Justin Stuckey.
Justin Stuckey. And welcome to Mic Check Mania.
Yeah, along with another episode of Mic Check Mania. Today we are diving into episode 8 of LFG. Woo! Halfway through LFG. And man, there's been some moments, there's been some growing pains. We're seeing these wrestlers go through it, but
Mm-hmm.
this particular episode is one of the, I would say, one of the more outside of the entrance. As a wrestler, I would be more excited for the entrance, but your finisher.
Mm-hmm.
How are you going to end your opponent? A lot of famous finishers like the Stone Cold Stunner, Rock Bottom,
Mm-hmm.
pile driver, or I guess the tombstone, if you
Tombstone.
will. So we got to see some of the participants work out kind of what they wanted to use as a finisher. Stuck, kind of walk us through to kind of set this episode off for us and tell us kind of where they're at with that.
Well, I was a fan of this episode. I feel like the energy was high. You talk about signature moves. I think that's what drives most people in their entry entry phase to WWE. You mentioned like the rock bottom, the stunners, everything like that. Like boy John Cena. Sometimes you got to change the names. It was the FU, now it's the attitude adjustment. I think RKO is probably the greatest finisher out there because it's so iconic, especially with the name. That's debatable, but that's my personal belief. And so I was excited to see not only how this process works, but the superstars or the futures creativity in it. Like, what did they already have in their mind? So I was excited off rip to know that was going to be the wave of this episode. We had DDP in there. Talked about his iconic finisher and just presence in the ring. And so having a
Yeah,
legend come in once again, being able to lead this episode.
sure, sure.
Energy started out high. Booker T, Chris Allen, a little push-up challenge going. Get the vibe, get the
Yeah, yeah,
morale
yeah, yeah,
up.
yeah.
I thought that was good. What do we have?
And DDP, like, let's not breeze by
Yeah.
that. Diamond
Let's not
Dallas
sleep on that.
Page.
Yeah.
Yeah, that, I mean, again, he mentions he doesn't start, and again, this is one of those inspiration moments, like a Kurt Warner being found late in the game,
Mm-hmm.
in a grocery store. Like, it is never too late to fulfill your destiny. If you are struggling with that, did I get in this too late? Am I, is there not enough time? There's never not enough time. You can
Mm-hmm.
start today, no matter what you want to do. I don't want to get into like a TED Talk moment or a
Hey, we
Hallmark
need the
moment, but
inspiration.
it's real stuff. And he says that he doesn't start wrestling until he's 35 years old. 35 years old. And it wasn't like he came in and was just like, oh, I wrestled. It was cool. He's a
Mm-hmm.
WWE Hall of Famer coming in at the age of 35. Now, is this the most common thing that happens? Absolutely not. But it is absolutely possible. And we've seen it in a few occasions. But
Mm-hmm.
DDP, the diamond cutter, iconic. A finisher has to have that moment of you letting them know what they're about to do so they can be along in the ride for you. Ooh, ah. All
Yeah.
of that, right?
The
All
sweet
of
chin
those
music.
sweet chin music, tuning up the band,
Tune in the
you
band.
know, there, man, your boy, there's just all of these
Well, that's
things.
for the five knuckle shuffle.
Oh, that's for the five. Yeah, still,
Yeah.
still an awesome move. Still an awesome move. Uh,
Randy Orton just comes out of nowhere though. At
yeah,
times, I love when he
and
used to hit the ring, but Randy
yeah,
does.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I think I love it. It's a different level of intensity, and it's kind of the Stone Cold Stunner in a way. Not the Stone Cold Stunner. It's a
Mm-hmm.
more horizontal, vertical.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Horizontal.
yeah, horizontal. I was like
Yeah.
horizontal, like without the gut kick, but it's great.
Stunner's a
It's
90-degree.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
There you go. A little elbow there. So, but again, Diamond Dallas Page, the diamond cutter was common fact turned cash, and it
Mm.
was done. A finisher has to be something that you can do at any given moment on anyone. if you are 5 foot nothing, no disrespect to the little people, but you're probably not going to be able to choke slam the Undertaker or
Yeah.
Kane or Mark Henry or the Big Show. You pick up what I'm putting down.
Mm-hmm.
So again, it has to be something, and most importantly, it has to be something you can execute safely, right?
Mm.
So
That's
who
what
do
we've
we see
seen.
first, Duck? Who do
Well,
we see first? Oh,
before we get into that, I just want to point out something. All of our Mic Check Mania faithful, the ones who have subscribed, and if you haven't, please hit the subscribe button. They took our question. HBK asked the judges, so far, who are your front runners? The front runners that were named:
mm-hmm.
Zena, Jasper Troy, Chris Island. Each judge, three of the four, each legend, I should say, name somebody from their group, right?
Mm-hmm.
Respectfully so, it felt like they were the best. Bubba said Zena. We had Booker T going with Jasper, Mickey James going with Chris Island. Then
Mm-hmm.
the Undertaker comes around and he did not pick anybody.
I love it.
Love it.
Undertaker can do whatever he absolutely wants to.
Yes. I was a little surprised though, because I think it makes sense for them to pick people from their group, but I was thinking they were going to pick people that weren't from their group, just overall best. But I just didn't want to.
Well, no, that question was who's in your group. It wasn't
Okay.
overall. It was who was in your group, who's leading your group, who do you believe in? That's why they went that way. Now,
Okay.
it
Because we've been
could
seeing some little intertwine lately about, legends who have futures who aren't in their group, giving them
sure.
criticism, giving them praise. So that's why
Yeah,
I was
yeah, yeah, yeah.
my
And I love
perspective.
that because that's what it's about, you know. And again, you can take the time, and I'm sure they've all off camera learned from other judges
Mm-hmm.
or have had questions from the other judges, you know, like who's not running up to ask Undertaker a question. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Um, so I love those moments. But
You mentioned.
again, I've said this before. Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. I got my point. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say one of those moments where Undertaker doesn't say anybody, but you think back, you're like, man, Shiloh's been getting a lot of love these first 7 episodes, you know, leading up,
Mm-hmm.
but he hasn't come around as quickly as I think that they would like. And I think that's why it's a fair game now. First
Mm-hmm.
3 episodes, you couldn't tell me anything. Like Shiloh was the dude for everybody. And he didn't, you know, after that concussion, I think things kind of got a little less highlighted, and I think it just he didn't have the same pop, the same pizzazz anymore. So
Mm-hmm.
um sorry, not to ramble off on that, but yeah, I love that the Undertaker because that moment where Mickey James goes, "Oh, I thought we had to pick somebody." I died. I died when she said that. I thought that was so funny. But
Yeah.
yeah, go ahead with your point, man.
I was thinking about how you mentioned a finisher signature move. It's important to be able to execute it at any time, do it safely, and also know your own strengths and weaknesses.
Sure.
And I think we saw some foreshadowing when Danny talked about using the Undertaker's submission move, and that would work effectively for her because she's very small. But you think about her facing somebody like Bayley, Humphrey, for example, huge presence, going down there to grab her off the canvas, then boom, get her into that submission. So we saw some foreshadowing there. Obviously, Danny's hurt right now, so she's not being able to be in the ring. But I still think that's good. You asked me the question, who do we see first? Cutler James, the upper Cutler,
Yeah. No,
super long
no.
windup.
You did. Yeah, you got to hold it longer than
Got to
that. I
keep
was gonna
going.
say.
And Drake Moreau trying to hit a little bit of a Bayou Boogie frog splash. Thought that
Sure.
was interesting. You
Mhm.
notice how they didn't show him attempting to do the dance on the top rope. I was like, that's not gonna
No,
go good.
because it ain't gonna work.
No,
You don't want to be up there shimmying and shaking around.
you gonna mess around and
That
fall.
is not safe, and he don't seem like the most coordinated individual. No
No,
disrespect, but we ain't seen it yet. So
no. I,
that ain't it.
the upper Cutler was hilarious to me.
Yeah, yeah.
If you don't know what we're talking about, this is the point where our futures are testing, creating their signature moves, brainstorming. We're getting a chance to see in LFG the behind the scenes of everything. Each group is in the ring, kind of just rambling off ideas of how this could work, how could it be effective. Xavier mentioned the criteria of what makes a great signature move. You got DDP kind of going around from each ring, kind of observing everything. From your perspective, what do you think about the creative aspect that goes into what we see out on a main show or in a pay-per-view?
As far as the finisher,
Yeah, as far as the finisher goes, just like what were your thoughts when you saw, okay, this is how this process works and what they're throwing out
obviously
there?
we're getting a cut down version of it, right?
Mm-hmm.
We're getting very like we this is time for TV. I don't think this is something that even happens overnight. Like it just seems like this could be a whole week long episode. This could
Mm-hmm.
be several episodes to find your finisher. Like I don't know. Like that's like because obviously like you see finishers that are like more complex than others, you know. So it's like I would love to see the list of wrestlers when they debuted, when they started, what their finishers were. Fast forward for those that have made it at least 10 years into the business to what their finishers are today. I think that would be a good and we coming up with some good stuff, yo. Like that could be some great material for
Mm-hmm.
social media because I've never seen anything like that before. So I would love to see if somebody wants to put the work in, take my idea, run with it. But I just think it's you got to put some real time and attention to your finisher. So, but maybe that's the whole point. Maybe you just figure out what you can do now and then kind of evolves over time. Maybe
Mm-hmm.
that's the whole point of it. You just figure out what works for you now, and as you turn into a different character, or like whatever gimmick you go into next, if you're a gimmick person,
Mm-hmm.
so I just think that it's something that needs a little more time and attention and probably has from what
Yeah.
they showed us on TV. That's all I'm saying. Let me
And
stop
we've
right
been talking about, we don't know the timeline because it kind of
there.
slipped
Yeah,
up. We talked about when Danny said she got hurt last night in that
sure,
match
sure,
against
sure.
Bayley. I was like, wait a minute, that was supposed to be last week.
Yeah,
So we don't know the timeline. TV and social media, they control the narrative. So we're just watching.
sure, sure, sure.
We're just watching. Don't want to get past this when Booker T is in the ring talking to his group and he looks over and he sees Undertaker and his wife, Michelle McCool, inside of the ring. And he says, when we start bringing our wives to work, look at that over there. I thought that was hilarious. Those throwing shots.
Yeah, man. Book is a character. He's great for TV, but also again one of the more seasoned trainers.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I would say I think he's had his school, his class. I think he's been a trainer for since he's been out.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so anytime you've ever talked or looked at the training center, Book is around there. So,
He's a beast.
yeah, he's definitely man. He can get you right. He can get you right. So that was a cool moment. That was funny. Um, Michelle, future Hall of Famer, made her way back to
Yeah.
the show. So
Yeah. Um, I would say this is your second least favorite person on the show. BJ Ray's at the top. But your boy Chris Island is about to take the cake. Chris Island starts beefing with Bubba Ray Dudley. I'm going to let you take this. Give the people your thoughts on the little brother syndrome in Chris Island.
yeah, man, you will, you don't want to. And look, I'll start off by saying I don't know the guy. We've only been able to see what they've shown us, and we know in media, this media space. I'm trying to be so political right now. In this media space, what they highlight and emphasize and what they kind of like sway. So I would hope that he's not like this, but they're really making him because they don't have BJ now. So they're trying to make that next problem child. They're trying to
Mm-hmm.
cause that rift because it would just be a boring TV show if they did it, right? It
Mm-hmm.
would just be not boring for us, but it would just be like there's no drama. Every story has to have drama in it. Um,
Yeah.
so they're trying to create him, and they try to do it with him and Jasper going back and forth, where he's like laughing out of nowhere. I think that was the first thing that kind of rubbed me the wrong way.
He
And
got carried.
clearly, he didn't just start laughing out of nowhere. They cut that right on the spot to where you're like, I was like, come on, don't do that. So I'm reading through this I think pretty well, but nonetheless, initially it started with like, he was like, nobody carried me. I'm like, yeah, we all saw the same match. He did carry you, but that's
Fireman
okay.
carried.
Like, don't be so prideful to where, yeah, firemen carried you, bro. Don't be so prideful to where you can't, take that as a lesson, but also like, if there's always one leader in a dance,
Mm-hmm.
you know, it takes two to tango, but
Ah,
but there can only be one leader. No,
ooh.
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So yeah, he just, I just think it's a little, he's got a little maturity, a little maturing to
I'm
get through, when it comes to that. So that's
I'm
all.
I'm gonna stir the pot a little bit just because I want to throw out another perspective. We've seen the heels, the characters, this tension. Started with BJ Ray, now it's Chris Island. But it seems that the X Factor and the person who's always involved is Bubba Ray Dudley. Is he the problem?
No,
And is he hiding behind the excuse that he's a legend?
he's a very vocal individual, and look, Mickey said he ain't do nothing wrong.
Yes.
Said
Mickey
Chris
James
didn't
did
do it.
take
He
up for
said
Chris Island.
he just had his back, and I think it was a little weak to call him out, and I think the judges want to say stuff too, but they're like,
It was
this
weak to
is
call who out?
Chris Island. I think it was
Okay.
weak to you want the good news or the bad news. Just
Mm.
praise him, because you punish in private, you praise in public, right? And I
Yeah.
think that was a moment of just like not reading the room, but again, it's the producers are loving those moments. They don't
Yeah.
care. They want more of that. They would tell Bubba to turn it up to to 1,000 if they could.
Mm-hmm.
But I just don't think that's the right moment to go. You're disrespectful, blah blah blah, all this stuff, because you be saying some out of pocket stuff too. So
Yeah.
you could equally just be disrespectful too, because everything is perception. Just because you say something to someone and you think you're playing, they might not know you're playing, and
Yeah.
that was the situation. So, and words, again, we know through this generation more than anybody, words hurt.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe, and we know that there are some sensitive people on this show, so maybe she doesn't take that the right way. I
Yeah.
know they're trying to toughen them up. I get that. They all come from the old school generation.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I
What was
get it.
said? Is that when he said she's useless?
He said you're useless,
Because
right?
she was hurt and she couldn't get in to help
He said,
demonstrate.
"Can you not?" He said, "Can you not get in here?"
Yeah.
He said, "You're useless. You're not worthless, right?"
Yeah,
He
you're
said, "Useless."
useless. But he definitely was joking when he said that.
Yeah. Because you're not. I mean, come on. I was
Yeah.
like, damn, Bubba. Like,
He's
you'd
like,
be.
ah, you're useless.
Yeah, because I think somebody else would have probably stepped in at that
Yeah. He
point and be
needed
like, bro,
somebody's
you need to
light
chill.
to be able to test
Yeah,
that
yeah. And
move.
I think he does show love to her. So Chris, it was a moment where Chris really didn't need to say anything. So I don't think.
Yeah. I
And
like I said, I
everybody
just
at
like to
this
stir
point,
the pot.
that's Bubba, though. You also know that's his brand.
Yeah.
So you don't take everything to heart. It's
I
kind
think
of
it
like
was
that tough love.
unnecessary for Chris Island to even say anything
He
because,
didn't need to
like you
say
said,
anything.
we got it as a joke. Then he
Yeah,
tried to, you got those dudes who try to be macho for no reason, like
sure.
the little brother syndrome. Like, first off, it was a joke. Second off,
They call it white knighting
yeah,
in
they
like
don't
the
need you to
chats and
back her.
streams. Yeah, yeah,
They don't need you. She doesn't need you to back her up because it wasn't
yeah,
anything serious.
yeah,
And
yeah.
then Mickey James is so far in of support to Chris Island that it's just becoming oblivious to realizing, hey, he's kind of spoiled. You don't realize you're spoiling somebody until it's already too late. And I think
Mhm.
it may end up being too late for Chris Island. So that's all
We'll
I'll say on
see.
that.
He's got some. There's gonna be some growing pains in
Yeah.
certain areas for a lot of people, though.
Uh,
I speak for myself as well. We all got areas where we can be better and flourish in, right? And obviously, his are highlighted on television because it's a national
mhm.
television show. So we kind of see, and again, what kind of story they're creating. The story they're creating the narrative. That's just how TV is. We're
Mhm.
discussing from what they've shown us. Is he really like this? I don't know. I can only talk to what we've seen. So I just want
We
to
need to
keep
interview
saying
him
that.
to see if he really is.
Yeah. Hey, man.
That's on us, people. That's on us.
Yeah.
We gonna get
Just
that.
yeah, let's go get that.
Let's move forward. Cutler James, Anthony Luke, aka Dwayne the Rock Johnson, said Bubba. I don't know what he be doing.
Yeah, he don't
He
know.
need to stop, brother. We always in support of brothers. You see
Ugh.
us. We always supporting a brother, and we gonna be with you when you're right, and we gonna be with you when you're wrong. And that move is dead wrong. Stop doing that.
Ugh.
It's not. It's not
Ugh.
drawing any positivity. It's more eyebrow raises and question marks. So please stop. Yes, stop doing that. What do you think about their match, man? We got to see the upper Cutler, the long wind up.
Uh, aside from that awkward moment where he was just swinging that arm too long, like we get it, and it was like this. It wasn't even like I feel like you got to get it. Like he was just like kind of in a daze doing this, but
Mm-hmm.
I like the move. I think it fits. Again, he's not a real complex character. He's very
Mm-mm.
quiet, stoic, as they mentioned in previous episodes. I think Bubba said that.
Stoic.
It for yeah for kind of comparing him to Gunther, right?
Mm.
And so whatever he does has to be pretty basic. And I think the upper Cutler it's a great play on words, obviously. And I just again it fits him. He's got a good athletic build.
Mm.
Um, it just makes sense because now he has this boom. He comes up. Now he's in this kind of like hero power pose, right?
Mm.
Superhero. So I
I
think it
don't feel like
fits.
it's a finisher though. I feel like that's one of those subsection moves. If that makes sense, you know.
I hear you, but it's I think we've seen less do more. So as
Mm.
far as finishers go, I mean, for now, again, we'll see what comes into the next phase of the finisher because everybody kind of has a couple things that they do.
Mm-hmm.
Like you said, that subgroup, like everybody, you tee up the people's elbow for the rock bottom, right? So, all that.
Yeah.
Um, so, um,
I just
so
think it's
yeah.
rare that you see a commonly used move as the finisher. And what was Undertaker's biggest thing? Protect your
Well, no,
finisher.
because they do spears all the time. That's my problem with the spear. Some people can use the spear in just a regular move, and then it's someone else's finisher, and it's like the most devastating thing. Now, if you get hit by Goldberg or Braun Breaker,
Braun Breaker.
that
Hey,
is a
bro.
finisher, and
I
we will
think
get to that. I don't even know. We don't even need to wait on that. This is well after Raw. That was again. Hey, we had one of the legends of legends on the the pod on the show, and he was known for the most fierce spear you'll ever see in the ring. But there's a new cat on the block, and he go by the name Braun Breakia.
Braun
Um,
Breaker.
because Braun Breakia,
His name
and
is bro. This
bro,
man flew down the
yeah,
ramp and levitated
yeah,
in
yeah, yeah,
Spirit Carlito.
bro.
I'm gonna add the video. What
Carlitos,
I don't know what
Carlito
time
had
it
a
is, but I'm
funeral.
adding the video.
Carlito had a funeral service the other day. It really happened. I was like, holy smoke! He had so much power, speed, momentum that he flipped himself,
I say, did you see how he turned?
bro. He flipped himself, and then and it does that. I was like, man, this dude is yo,
There's no way they practiced that.
no,
There's no way they.
no way, no way. You don't do that twice. Nope.
No.
No, it would have never been as explosive as it was had he have done that the first time in the practice.
Did you see how the brother was flying? I told you about his Kennesaw. Bro, we have got to interview Braun Breakia. Did you see his
Yeah.
Kennesaw State highlights? The brother was a tank. He ran down that ring or ran down to that ring like he was running to the goal line.
Yeah, he threw his head. He said, "Come on!" Like his eyes got big. Like, yeah, let's do it right now. Like, I was like, "Holy smokes!"
I don't know how we got there, but it was about the spears.
About the spear, just the
But you
average.
got to have something significant like that.
Hmm.
Jeez Louise.
Yeah, yeah,
You got brothers doing spears, but you don't have brothers doing that.
yeah, yeah.
That's different.
Um, sidewalk slams. I've seen those as feel like we've seen that as a finisher before. And there are different versions of it. Obviously, they don't call them the diamond cutter, but there's a few people that do their own version of that now. And I don't know. But again, it's wrestling. You
It's
know, we
wrestling.
love it. We love it. And these are the fun conversations and debates we get to interact in and go back and forth with. So I'm not sure what was it. I think we still have to talk about what Jasper. Oh no, Anthony.
Oh
Anthony
no,
Luke.
yeah, Anthony Luke. Well, Cutler and Anthony Luke faced off.
I mean, we can keep talking about Bron Breaker too. So
Yeah, hey, Bron,
that's crazy,
hey, Brian Breaker.
bro. He
Hey,
got
that
on the ropes
joke.
like that. I was like, dang.
He's quite scary. Like, how
Man,
much would they have to pay you to get speared by Brian Breaker the same way Carlito did?
on Raw
Yes.
for free? What?
No, not just no glory of being on national television.
Oh no.
What price tag?
No, I'd have to be on I'd have to be on TV.
You wouldn't do it for.
I wouldn't do it for money. I would have to be on TV.
So they give you 100 million. You're not doing it. Does that make any sense?
Come on, Buck.
What is your price tag? What is your,
come on, 100 mil?
what is the lowest you would go to
What's
get
the
speared
lowest?
Like that? Yeah.
Man, oh no, $1,000.
Dang. Oh no. I don't know about 1,000.
At least I mean maybe 10K, just enough to cover the doctor bill. You gotta cover doctor bills.
Yeah. Okay. Cover the doctor bill
because the ribs are gone.
Yeah, you're headed to the ER afterwards.
Yeah.
Like if they say,
you're
okay,
concussed.
Xavier, no padding, straight ground. We'll give you 50K. He's gonna run down this ramp and spear you the same way Carlito did.
Yep.
50K. You taking it?
Let me tell my family I love them. Get my will in order because you're gone. You're done for. You're done for. No, you're no. There's really no amount of money that your head slamming into the concrete could. You'd be a vegetable. No, so no, absolutely not. Absolutely not. No way. No way.
Why did he say a vegetable, bro?
Yeah, you'd be a vegetable. you'd be a vegetable.
Okay, y'all. Ooh, speaking of no, I can't say what I was about to say.
Say it, bro.
Can't say what I was about
It's
to
a pod, bro. It's a show.
No.
People want to know.
I can't.
People want to know.
No, I can't. I can't.
Do a PG version of what you were gonna say.
Well, vegetables. Sometimes a lot of people eat vegetables as snacks, and I was gonna talk about some snacks in the next match. Laurel and Zena. Laurel and Zena.
Oh, I'm not gonna say something crazy too. Yeah,
we're gonna keep it. What's up? We're gonna keep it low. Laurel comes out there looking great. Zena comes out there in a new fit. No,
we're not supposed to say that. She don't like that.
Hey man, we gotta tell the people what happened though.
No, it's a badass costume, and she knows it.
Yeah, her fit
designed it that way. Her fit is one of the best, even out of any wrestler that's doing it right now. Her fit is fire. That's why they see a star, because you can already see she's got her get up. It's there, but they want the wrestling behind it. Do we jump to that, or do we?
Well, let's keep going to Miss Zena, because if you didn't watch our last LFG recap, go do that. But in there, Mickie James made a comment about Zena's wrestling attire and said she don't like the girls that got their butts out, because that's all the people focus on. She worked too hard.
She ain't lying.
Her generation of divas, women superstars, worked too hard for that to be the main focus. She said we had to be out there in the lingerie. You don't need to be doing that.
They were very chesty. The Attitude Era and what was the Ruthless era, like just since Divas has been around, it's been very, very chesty. Now it's
all about the yams now.
It's can I get those yams? It's a very the rump roasts are to be served. It's very it's crazy. It's insane what's going on. Ooh, how time will time will tell.
Let me get Xavier off this train.
No. But I'm saying, no, you made a good point. But you got to give. Let's go even further. to get serious, not at all trying to be disrespectful to anybody, but Zena, I told you from jump, like she's I see the most potential with her out of anybody, and she has done the best job of taking her feedback and applying it.
Mm-hmm.
She didn't ask no questions. She didn't butt heads with nobody. She came back in her old fit and still did work. Like nothing had changed and still did work. Has a great finisher, I think. And again, I think it fits her because I don't think anybody again, we talked about this offline. That outfit, man, she could do so many different things with that outfit. No one has the little
She was in
skirt
a
thing.
skirt
Yeah.
with the compression shorts under.
Yeah, everybody has like the panties, wrestler panty things,
Mm-hmm.
underwear, undergarments they call whatever, and the leggings or the whatchamacallits
The
or
brief
nothing,
type.
right? Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. So I can't tell you one person that has that like athletic almost tennis skirt, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I love the look. I think she can add some flair, a little more flavor to it in certain spots, but it's like it's fitting. You can
Yeah.
have it in any color. You could do so many things with it. It's easy to I think maintain. On top of that, so I loved what she did with it, and I really liked their match. Um, but the judges
Mm.
weren't big fans of their match, or I
No,
guess one
it was
side of the
more so
match.
about Lee Laurel. And um, for all of you guys that just may be joining on and don't really know the background, we have done many episodes, so you need to go start from the beginning. So sorry. But now, Lee Laurel, after each match, the judges, the legends, and our guests give their feedback on matches. And for Lee Laurel, she was the first one that they talked
Mm-hmm.
about. And I think it was the Undertaker said, "You look great in your ring gear, but I want you to go into another gear," talking about in the ring. And for Lee Laurel, she's gotten tired of hearing about how she looks in her presence rather than how she performs. And
Sure.
like to me, I wouldn't say that I watch her and be like, "Dang, she sucks," you know? But
No.
I can tell why it starts to eat away at her because that's all they're saying week after week, and she made that point. But the thing I wrote down
Well, she
is
hasn't had any wow moments.
that's true.
Everybody's had some pretty big, like explosive moments.
Mm-hmm.
So she hasn't had the maybe not had the opportunity, but haven't stepped up and created that for herself to where
Mm-hmm.
like, hey, I want to do this move. I really want to show off a little more athleticism, or I want to see if I can get this pop out of the crowd. She needs to be a little more strategic. Strategic. She's very quiet.
Mm-hmm.
She's very quiet, and closed mouths don't get what
No, no
fed.
heat. They don't get
Yeah,
fed.
you know what I'm saying. So,
Yeah.
yeah. Sorry, continue with what you're saying.
The thing that I wrote down, and I thought it was great, being an athlete who's competed at a high level, you learn that you fail more than you succeed. The failures make the successes. And DDP, I wrote down, DDP gave great advice to Lee Laurel about failure. And he told her, like, failure comes with it. He talked about how many times he failed in order to make it. So you don't need to get discouraged about the failing process. You have to stay throughout the journey and just keep a tunnel vision. And I think that was a refreshing. I think that's what she needed to hear. And we talked about the impactfulness of a coach for a athlete, in this case our futures, our wrestlers. I think it's refreshing to have a different perspective and a guest that comes on like DDP, who's a legend, being able to see that because sometimes our legends miss that in their coaching because they're coaching so many people and don't know how to give that perspective. I thought that was what she needed to hear. Now, Zena, go ahead.
Before you jump over her, how do you feel about so she started crying, and my thought was she said she got her what she said she got her shit rocked. She got rocked,
Rocked. I forgot about
and
that. Mickey James said, "Are you okay?"
I don't believe she got rocked. I think she got into her feelings and used that as a fallback, as but maybe she did because she was holding her head at the end.
She said on
So
that
that
clothesline.
yeah. So she could have really gotten rocked, but I think it was overall an emotional because it was targeted towards her a lot. All the
Mm-hmm.
negative really was kind of shadowing over her. And again, it's okay, like you said, fail forward though, take
Mm-hmm.
this feedback, use it, correct it, and like you said, it's okay. It's okay to fail. DDP said it.
Mm-hmm.
Diamond said it. Like, so you got these legends up here rooting you on. You're there for a reason. There's thousands.
Mm.
There's thousands of people that want this opportunity. That got looked over. That will
Mm-hmm.
never be anywhere near this opportunity. Seize it. It's yours. You're here for a
Yeah,
reason. You have talent. They see something in you. Just take it and freaking run with it.
that's facts.
So
I like that. And really not much to say about Zena. It's all positive. She's trending in the right direction from my
Zena's a
perspective.
beast.
So
There's nothing she cannot do. And she has the build to do anything. She could pick up P Nasty. She could throw anybody around the
where P
room.
Nasty been?
I don't know. I think P Nasty is could be hurt, or we're gonna focus on these other wrestlers right now because we're gonna get to old girl. Um,
Serena.
yes, we're gonna
Mm-hmm.
get to Serena, because again, it was about a lot of these wrestlers at first, so they're trying to, I think, show balance because a lot of these wrestlers are getting lost in the sauce, right?
Yeah.
And we kind of see what Bayley didn't get looked at the first 4 or 5 episodes, and now she's one of the like that was just waiting there. But again,
Yeah.
they know that again, it's all storytelling. They
Yeah.
navigate how this looks, how this feels. Respect to them. Again, I love the show. We love the show. We love what it's doing for
Mm-hmm.
wrestling, and yeah, we get to we get to break this thing down. So let's
Yeah.
jump into
Chris Island,
Chris Island
Elijah
next
Holyfield.
match.
Um, from my perspective, I feel like Chris Island has the greatest finisher in LFG. His finisher is fire. I think personally, like he executed well. I know there's a little worry at first about dropping them on the knee, but man, he executed that thing to perfection.
He did
And
his thing.
so I thought that was pretty cool. I think
I
Holyfield
mean,
did
it's
his thing.
basically CM Punk's finisher, though.
CM Punk is to go to sleep here. He flips them the other way. Boom. Like it's not front facing, it's back facing. And he flips them down and lands on the knee. CM Punk just takes him up like in a John Cena move, up, knee him here, and they go that way. He like
Okay, well, it's
flips
the
them
knee.
around.
It's the knee. Oh, you're right. That was a good breakdown. It's just I
Hey,
don't know.
this is what we do.
You can only do so many moves, though. Obviously, right?
Yeah.
Like so
I thought it was very creative though at the start. Like I didn't see anybody's finisher be as sophisticated as that one and be able to execute
Mhm,
it. Other than Serena, because her degree of difficulty was pretty high.
mhm.
But I just thought I wrote down Chris's finisher is elite. I think that is an elite signature move.
I'll tell you what I love about his finisher. I love that he is paying homage and respect to his boy, and that's a real one. And that makes
Mm-hmm.
me think, I'm like, okay, this dude he's a real one.
Yeah.
You know, for him to make it about someone other than himself. Not that he wasn't, I'm just saying like that whole he was wearing his boy's shirt. He introduced him to wrestling. That was the only reason why he even knew what wrestling was. Was it KJP?
I can't remember the name, but
Yeah, sorry, man. We're sorry we forgot about that. The letters. But his buddy used to wrestle, but had an injury, had to step away.
mhm.
Um, and yeah, no, I just thought that was really cool, and obviously Mickey thought that was cool too. So,
Yeah, because she
um,
was kind of against it at first, but when she heard
yeah, yeah,
the backstory
yeah,
with it,
yeah,
maybe pity partied it in there. But hey, what you
yeah.
gonna
And then
do?
back to
Yeah.
kind of how the kind of like babied him a little bit, or or I don't know. That's what you said, but um,
Yeah, the
hit
ethos.
the yeah.
Yeah.
So
Our boy Holyfield, Undertaker was not a fan of the jewelry or
of
the
the
blade.
jewelry,
What,
but
bro? They
everything
are
else was on
old
point.
school,
Yeah, they're old school.
bro. Undertaker told him, he said,
You,
"You are lucky you were not in that ring with me because I would have
he
ripped
said,
them
"I'm
out of
not.
your
You're lucky I'm not wrestling today."
yeah, I would have ripped them out of your ear."
I
And
ri-
Bubba said, "I was distracted by that shiny stuff around your
I
neck."
said, first of all, y'all being a little too, even a little. It's a little much.
You're doing too much now. You know where
It
we come
ain't.
from, cuz.
Yeah, hey, that's their thing. Let that be their thing. I could see how it could potentially get someone hurt. You could get I could see why you would not want to wear a necklace or an earring because the back of that thing pierces through some. I get it. Jewelry probably not a good look in a contact sport. It's like I know a lot of people wear their earrings during you know, in the NFL. Justin Jefferson wears his whole chain. Like you ain't touching Justin Jefferson. That's the you ain't touching Justin. Anyways, but I'm saying like, there's nothing to protect you. It's all open. So I could see how that would be hazardous to anybody. It could cut you, it could do a lot of damage. But you know how we do.
It
You
didn't
know how
sound
we
like they were
do.
worried about the hazard more
No, they
than
were
the
like, he
look.
didn't like that it was, they thought it was too flashy. I'm like, it's not your character. It's neither one of your characters.
Yeah.
So, yeah, maybe he takes it out. Maybe he comes with it on, but just takes it out, sets it aside, puts it in his pocket, gives it to the ref, whatever. But I can't think of
Undertaker
anybody
wore
else.
earrings.
Huh?
He never wore earrings when he was American Taker with the.
Ooh, Taker, if we find this video, bro,
I'm
you
about
are
to say
going to be
like
trending,
when he was on the
brother.
motorcycle, I could have sworn he had the bandana and the layering. I may be tweaking. No, Bubba ain't got no jewelry. He don't need none. But I thought that was interesting because he was just like, I couldn't watch anything you were doing in the ring because I was so fixated on what you were wearing.
I said that was a bit much. They were just trying to prove a point, though, and they made his
Yeah.
point. And he
And he
was like,
took it
again, he
well.
ain't he ain't he's so quiet. Again,
Yeah.
he's so quiet too. So it's like, again, this show is missing a BJ. We've made that known. You're trying to make another Chris out because those dudes are like, we don't want to mess this up. We're gonna keep our mouth shut. Go ahead.
No, keep going. I was about to say something, but I was like, nah.
No, go
Oh
ahead.
my goodness, we just got a message
Uh-oh.
from JJ, your boy JJ. We'll see what he says. He said, "Ayo, I know JJ wants something. Don't know what he wants." For those who don't know who JJ is, JJ
asked me one time.
is a young gentleman that spoiled the Royal Rumble for Xavier.
And
So
we'll
yeah.
get to that.
All right, last match of the night.
What'd he say?
We could get back to JJ, but we got to get to finishing this. Bayley Humphrey versus Serena Linton. Bayley Humphrey has been leading the way in these last couple episodes, last couple weeks. She's got the Great Khali finisher, the squeeze your head thing, and boy, she be taking coaching to heart. You see how they would like show your face every time she be doing all that. I was like, okay.
Now she's doing it too much though.
Yeah, it's a little much.
You're supposed to now. They gotta just turn her down a bit. But she did what she's doing what they told her. But coachable. But just do it. Don't overdo it. Just like find the moments where you kind of look. She was doing this, and I think they meant like come around and look at her like, I want to see I want to see the pain. I want to see the struggle. Jordan Hunter commits to Memphis, by the way.
Is that Travis' little brother? Wait, Jordan
No,
Hunter.
no.
No, that's Travis.
Our women's girl, Auburn women.
So sorry, I don't know.
She go. Oh, never mind. That's all right.
Must not be that good. So sorry.
That's crazy. She's a beast. Anyways,
Serena Linton tries the riskiest signature move of them all. Front flip landing off the top rope. And I love how, me and you talked about this, LFG and WWE need to kind of stop giving away so much information leading into these.
For sure.
And kind of just like stop it and cut it off. We've seen the preview of her trying to attempt the move, and then Bubba's face, like that little move, that little face he does. So I have been curious to know how she was gonna do. But I'll give you the floor. What do you think about the performance inside the ring from these two lovely individuals?
I think the finisher needs work, but for someone as green as she is, she executed it. But it was very like there was so much anticipation that it didn't seem as natural as it needs to be. It was very like, "Are you ready? I'm ready. I know. Are you ready? No, I'm ready. Just do it. Are you ready though?" Like it was it was one of those moments I was just like, "Oh God, just do it already." Like it's too much.
Yeah. I thought it was cool though because you look at Bayley Humphrey's background. She used to be in the base, used to catching the cheerleaders in the air, and we have a high risk move like that. Even if it had went south, I think they trusted Bayley enough to be able to help slow down the fall, catch
See,
her a
that's a
little bit.
level I didn't even process. I didn't even
What?
I didn't process that because you're completely right. She was the base. She was used to catching people, so I didn't
Mhm.
even think of it that far.
Yeah,
But
like
that's a
I
good
feel like
point. That's a great point. It's a great point.
that's the approach like that they may be thinking, we only see a limited amount of stuff. Like I
Sure,
don't
sure,
think they
sure.
would have put her in a ring with anybody else doing that move
Mhm.
out the get-go. Because if it goes south, who gonna catch her? Who's gonna be able to like slow down the fall? Because it's all about protecting
Mhm.
each other in the ring that we have seen. And so thought it was cool.
That was
Um
dope.
she she executed. She has to do something because that story that she gave in the promo, um, to that point, that was kind of like the most we knew about her, the most highlighted part of it,
Yeah.
until this move came out, and so I thought it was a great execution, and ultimately got her a point. DDP gave her a point,
Yeah.
and and our guy Anthony Luke, the whatever he be doing,
Yeah. Yeah.
what he
He
be
did
doing?
his thing though. I mean, he
Yeah, he
did his
did.
thing. So, like I said, his finisher again, he's pretty he's a little more on the polished side when it comes to a lot of those guys. And whether you like that his thing that he does or not, he still holds himself. He has the I think he's good. I think we've seen him on the mic. Have we? I think we've seen him on the mic. If not during his cuts, he talks very like he's the man. He's like,
A little
this
bit
is my
earlier on.
time, my spot. Like, so I can respect anybody taking initiative and just owning it, whether it comes off cocky or not. Like he's like, no, I'm here to compete. We're
What
not
about Chris?
friends, huh?
What about Chris? Why Chris ain't get that
It's
point?
because it's whiny.
But I thought he deserved a point. My
Oh,
personal
I thought you
opinion.
were saying in. I see what you're saying.
Like I don't really even like him like that, but I think
I
he
need to
deserved a
see.
point.
I don't know. I don't know.
And he
I'm
talked
having
about it too. He was like, I keep getting all this positive feedback, yet it's not resulting in the point. Like personally, I don't understand why he didn't get it, but maybe it's just for the TV aspect. Maybe it's because he was beefing with Bubba. I don't know.
Yeah, and then maybe that is you get reprimanded.
Mm-hmm.
There could definitely be something there that wasn't addressed, but and again, Bubble put him in that tough position. But also keep your mouth shut.
Shut up,
That
boy.
that yeah, shut. That again, he did not have to insert. That had nothing to do with him. Whether he thought he could have pulled her aside, hey, you good? You good? You
Mm-hmm.
don't need to talk. Cameras rolling. That ain't nothing to do with you. You're doing too much. You need to be focused on wrestling. That's what you need to be doing right now. That's why you're here. Work on your finisher. Shut your mouth. No, you don't talk. Bro, when he put his hand up to him, I was like, oh, not to Bubba. Bubba already feeling some type of way. Don't do that to Bubba.
The only person that can do that is BJ Ray.
We about to see.
Tell him what's happening next, X.
No, this is your. I'm not.
Come on,
This
X.
is all
No,
you.
you brought it to my attention because for some reason my TV didn't show me the previews into the next episode.
Episode 9. We see Devon Dudley, half of the iconic Dudley boys. Obviously, they're gonna have because Bubba Ray is one of the legends judges on the show. So they're talking about tag teams. So we're creating tag teams this next episode 9,
Mm-hmm.
and through the doorway, what's up, Coach? We see BJ Ray, and Bubba is just like in his mind on his face. He doesn't say this, but it's you again. Damn, I thought we got rid of you. So that is a moment that we are looking forward to because it clearly shows BJ acting up and not being a team player.
Mm-hmm.
Shocker. in the next episode. So there's going to be that conflict, because conflict is back. That should be his name. They should just call his wrestler name Conflict.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so because he brings that level of it. So we'll see what happens. Um,
But how much more anticipation do you have now, knowing the fact that he's back?
no, it's cringy. For me, it's cringy. I don't like. Not no,
Xavier is excited for this episode, y'all.
no. Yeah.
Bro, you when they showed up, what was that on?
Look, for the sake of
Raw?
this podcast, there's going to be something to talk about. I know that for sure.
Yeah.
And it's going to be one of those like, wow, I can't wait to get him on the show so I can light him up.
What are you going to say to
I'm
this
going to
grown
say
man?
whatever I want to
You're
say
gonna
to
have us
him.
get canceled,
We're
and
not going to get
nobody
canceled.
wants to
Ain't
come
nobody
onto
getting
our show.
canceled. Nobody's getting canceled. I relax.
BJ,
But no, I'm going to be real with them. I'm
BJ
going to be.
flip Xavier on his head.
I'm Charlemagne of our show.
No, we don't need. I don't want. We don't need a Charlemagne. No,
The God.
no. Be a Channing Crowder. That's how you act.
You want me to be the nasty dude on the channel.
Based off your DMs that you send me, you're the Channing Crowder of the show.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
We love you, Jada.
Um,
Anyway, I'm excited. I know you're excited, but LFG, like I said,
that was a pause moment, by the way. Let's go back 10 seconds and say pause right there.
What?
Anyways, nothing.
What? I'm excited. You're excited?
No, we missed it. But
Okay, well, good.
well, we've noted the pause that I.
Okay,
Just go. Go ahead. Go.
I think based off a conversation earlier, WWE's got a bunch of shows, events, segments scattered across multiple platforms and channels.
Mm-hmm.
But I think they have done their big one with this show specifically, because I spoke to my own personal experience. Never watched A&E before LFG was on, but LFG has been a really, really good show.
Mm-hmm.
I'm enjoying it. I know Xavier's enjoying it because we're doing this podcast, doing this show all the time, giving you the recaps. And I hope you guys are enjoying our recaps. Go ahead, like the video, comment on the video, subscribe to the video,
Mm-hmm.
and Mic Check Mania gonna be back soon. We out.
Till next time. Peace.